Are you familiar with something called the quantum eraser?
The quantum?
Yes. So basically, quantum eraser test is another level of the double-slit phenomenon.
Wow.
Where what scientists did is they looked at this double-slit phenomenon and they said, well, is this something that's actually at one point in time, or is it related to time? We know that there must be some consciousness that's inside of all of the electrons, right? Or photons, whatever you're using. It doesn't matter. You get the same, difference. Either it's going to be a wave, or once you've observed it, it becomes a particle, right? And so this is the separation between the two. And actually, I'll say that it's in the book also. You maybe have not got to it yet, but basically, wave-particle duality is explained in numbers. So you've got x and 1 over x.
Right.
So x becomes the particle. 1 over x is infinite generally for many, many, many numbers.
Yeah.
Right. That's a wave of potentiality.
Yeah.
So the moment that you make a conscious observation, it flips to a reciprocal, becomes x, and then it's a particle. Right. It's done. So think of it as a random number generator of the period of the 1 over x of whatever number, and then it just flips immediately to a particle representation. Right. And you could see that the whole universe is like that. We're all just divisions of the number one. Correct. Every one of us are just divisions of the number one. It's as simple as that. And what's reflected back to us is the reciprocal value that we are not. Think about reflection spectra. So you see colors like my color of my wall here is kind of like a grayish bluish color. My floor is tan. The reason why I chose those two colors is because they are actually the opposites of each other on the color wheel. Because the true color of the floor is the bluish gray color, and the true absorbed color of the walls is actually the tan color. They're exactly opposite of each other. So therefore they're complementary. Right. They can work together, right? So wave particle duality and the quantum eraser took one more level of the double slit experiment. What they did is they looked to see what would happen, right, through time when you conduct the same experiment. And what they found is that even if you didn't observe, right, and then flip it into collapse the wave function, make it a particle, even if you didn't observe it at the moment, right, if you had a recording of it, and you basically never observed it, or if you did observe it ever in the future, any time in the future, somehow
I see where this is going. Oh shit!
Somehow the electrons and photons knew whether they would be observed in the future or not.
Oh man, this is incredible.
Right? They knew whether they would be observed in the future or not, and they acted accordingly. So then you have to think, well, wait a minute, is everything then fixed?
Man, holy crap.
Wow. But look it up. There's a great PBS special on this, on the quantum eraser. It's called the Quantum Eraser Double Slit Experiment. Watch that on PBS, on YouTube. You can find it. It's fantastic. But what I'm proposing is that all of it has its basis in number. Yeah. Everything that we experience in wave particle duality can be experienced through number. And the way it manifests to us is those numbers, which are fractals of consciousness, become a coherence of consciousness that we call geometry. Yeah. And that's why the subtitle of the book is The Geometric Unification of Science and Art Through Number. Because what we perceive as all being separate, whether it's spirituality and science or mathematics and science, right? And, we could say mathematics is the queen of the sciences, but, biology isn't going to look very similar to mathematics, but actually it's all geometry too.
It's all geometry.
You look at DNA. DNA is hexapentacus designs. It's hexagram, hexagon, and pentagon over and over and over again. That is the nucleotide pair. It's 566. Yeah. It's 566. So when you see it from that perspective, then you realize, wait a minute, this is everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. It's imbued in everything.
Even the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. So if we looked at the number that it would be associated with the word Lisa, Mona is monad. Okay. Monad Lisa. So what's the Lisa?
Man.
The Lisa is Roman numerals. L-I is 51.
Yeah.
51. S-A in the ancient languages of Sumerian and Babylonian, right, are 6-6.
Mm-hmm.
So 5166. Monad Lisa.
Yeah.
So 5166. That is exactly the structure of DNA.
Yeah.
Merges, has one adjacent side, right, where it's a shared side with the hexagons, and then there's two hexagons. That's all nucleotide pairs right there.
Right. Wow. See, guys, this is why I hang out with people like Robert Edward Grant, okay? Because I have to find people that can stimulate my brain and make my brain go boom, because it's hard to do, man. And you just made so many connections for me. It's almost, for me right now, it's mind blowing, because I just connected 20,000 dots all at once just now between the quantum eraser and this. I just connected so many dots. I can do now 20 more workshops on 20 different topics based off of what you just taught me just now. Literally, it's crazy.
The day we discovered the heptagon construction, one of the people that we have working at the company, she came into my office. She goes, "I feel like I'm on crack."
I understand.
And she has like a French accent. She's like, "I feel like I am on crack." I love it. So no, it's very energizing when you connect to the universe, when you can connect the dots, and all of a sudden, wow, that's what this is. Wow. The Vitruvian Man, the picture we've all looked at subconsciously, we've known there's something more to it. Yeah. And now it's a freaking construction box, and it's self-evident.
Yeah.
It's proven. I mean, people, it's funny because I already had some mathematicians say, "Oh, well, just because you match this all the way out to 15 digits doesn't mean that it's perfect." It's like, oh man, dude, that just cracks me up. 15 digits. Do you know how small 15 digits is?
Yeah.
That would be the same as 1 femtometer, right? 10 to the negative 15th power is a femtometer. Mm-hmm. That means it's 1 quadrillionth of 1 centimeter.
Right.
1 quadrillionth of a centimeter.
And it still works out in that tiny, small scale.
And it's that perfect. All the way perfect, because it's based on ratio. It's all based on ratio. Mm-hmm. And we just tend to see randomness because we want to see it. It's like if you think you'll be right, or you think you'll be wrong, the truth is you'll be right.
Yeah.
Because whatever it is that you believe is going to happen, we think that we live in this world where everything is material and things happen to us. The universe happens to me. Damn it. I had another thing happen. I'm all victimized and shit. Oh man. Like people are hating on me. I can't get up. I can't do anything. I can't succeed. It's like, no. Change your perception and change your world. Start seeing the world as it's happening for you, not against you. It happens through you and for you. It's not happening against us. It happens for us. And that's the most beautiful realization that we can have, because even when bad things happen to us, we can start looking at it as, oh my gosh. And I mean, I'm sure you've experienced this. You're a little bit older than me, and although you look way younger, it's freaking unbelievable. I think you're like some sort of dude. Okay. Like I'm not surprised that you built an entire town underground. Yeah. So I'll leave it at that. But here's the thing: whatever we believe will happen in our lives is usually what does happen. We don't get in this life what we quote unquote deserve. Yeah. We get what we expect.
Exactly. So true. So true. And you have to understand that when adversity comes your way, like you just said, how do you find the meaning in this? For example, yesterday I was on a flight, and it was a 3-hour flight, supposed to be a 3-hour flight. Ended up circling around for almost an hour and a half, almost ran out of gas in the air. I had to get redirected to another airport. Finally, we were on the way to another airport. Then they said, "Oh, we got approval to land. We're going to circle back." They come back and they land at Fort Lauderdale Airport. Because of lightning storms, the whole airport was shut down. And now we're on the plane an extra hour and a half. Plus now we're sitting on the tarmac. We're waiting another hour and a half just to get to a gate to get off the plane. And the whole time, a lot of people are going haywire. They're crazy. They're stressed. They're frustrated.
This is a commercial flight?
Yes, a commercial flight. They were pissed. The whole airport was shut down. It wasn't just that particular airline. It was lightning, severe. Like even the private jets were shut down. And in my brain, what I was saying was, and what I even typed to my friend was, this happened because this particular delay stopped me from being in a car accident. It stopped me from being in a situation that was unfavorable for me. It put me in the right position to bump into somebody on the time scale, on the timeline that I need to be on, to bump into the right person, to have a conversation about something. It happened for us particular. I can't put my thumb on it right now, but there's a reason behind this delay and for what I'm experiencing here. And so while everybody else was wigging out and going haywire and going crazy and frustrating, and one guy went ate crap and he took his mask off and started screaming profanity at the people, and then they sent the cops on the plane to arrest him after we finally get the door open. They made us wait another 15 minutes while the cops came to take him away. And so I'm looking and observing the chaos, and I'm completely calm and zen and fine with everything because I've accepted that this is happening for me. And so exactly what you just said, it's just a mind state.
You know, I've lived through 3 plane crashes.
Wow.
And so a lot of people will be like, oh, when it's time to travel somewhere, people are like, don't fly with Robert, man. Like some weird shit could go down. And I'm like, well, that's one way to look at it. Or the other way to look at it is fly with Robert because he's survived through 3 plane crashes.
Exactly.
It's like, and by the way, you can do that with literally anything. You can say, oh, I got fired from my job. That was the worst thing. Like life sucks. And now it's like I have no money and all this, blah, blah, blah. Well, the truth is in life, we attract everything that we judge.
Yeah.
Until we no longer judge everything we attract.
Boom. Yeah.
And so whatever happens to us, it doesn't matter what it is, Billy.
Yeah.
I got fired from a job once and my hopes were dashed, right? Like it was a stupid political thing. It was retarded, but it's the best thing that ever happened to me because that was the day. I remember the next day I flew home. I tell it in my TED talk. I flew home from New York and I'm, landing. I threw up on the airplane on the way home because I was so sick about the whole thing.
Oh, man.
And the next morning I woke up and I was kind of in this funk depression. And I went out to go pick up the newspaper and we still had newspapers. It was only 10 years ago. And we had to pick up the newspaper in my driveway and something entered my mind. And I thought to myself, today can either be the worst day of my life or it can be the best.
Wow.
And I decided right then it was going to be the best day. Nice. That I had lived up until that moment in time. And that what had happened the day before was the best thing that could ever have happened. And that was the day I founded my company.
There you go.
And now I have 16 companies in the group. And it's like, something I really enjoy. And you don't start companies to make money. Starting a company to make money, I mean, some people might do it to try to, make ends meet or maybe as supplemental income or something like that. But if your goal is to make money, it's going to be a hard path for you. And, it's like when I tell people, they're like, well, you set up the company to make money. I'm like, I don't think I know a single founder that does it with that sole idea in mind.
Nope.
That'd be like saying, okay, I find my sweetheart and I say to her, let's have some kids so they can make money for us.
Right. Yeah.
That's not the truth, right? It's like
that definitely ain't the truth.
It's definitely not the truth, right? So I would never have kids so they can be an income stream for me. It's kind of the opposite, right? It's totally the opposite.
Totally the opposite.
So, totally the opposite. But when you start companies, I know you will know this because you're a very successful entrepreneur.
Yeah.
They're like children. I'm immediately thinking, okay, this child